Assalamu alaikum. I'm Shukri Kerika and this is my wife Fatima, and together we started K's Confectioners, a home-based bakery situated in Grassy Park, Cape Town. You can catch us on Instagram at ks_confectioners as
and
well.
Also on Facebook at K's Confectioners as well.
Okay, cool.
So Shukri and I started our business in 2017 with the sole purpose of basically just presenting over-the-top and exquisite cakes. We also really love good food though. So for today, we've actually prepared something sweet and something savory.
2 treats on the menu.
Yay!
Okay, so for the base, we're obviously using phyllo pastry. So what we'll be doing is we'll be layering it 5 layers thick to get that nice crunch. Which
is very important.
Yeah,
I'm all about the crunch.
She likes it a lot.
Okay, I'll help you.
Okay.
And obviously, before we started, we had to wash our hands. So we want to remind everyone, very important, wash your hands, Canala.
So what you want to do also is just press it nice and firmly against the lining so that you have a nice open space to apply filling when it's done baking.
Shukri does this way better than I, but you know, I need to help. I'm basically the help on the side.
Yeah.
And then you can just do your butter. We also add a layer of melted butter. So you'll see that I have some butter here on the side. We add this in between the phyllo sheets simply because you have 5 layers, so it's quite dry if you bite into that and there's only this dry bits of pastry. So we add the butter just for some extra moisture. You can use any butter you have, but we prefer real butter.
Okay, let me add that for you. And as I add, you can reapply the layers. And we do this between each layer just to, you know, not have on
you want
the
crunch, but not that dry crunch. You need to find the balance between the two.
Like the two of us, yeah.
Sometimes.
Okay.
You also just need to make sure that you take your phyllo pastry out of the freezer early enough, but also not for too long, because if it's out of the freezer for too long, it actually gets dry and it starts cracking. So you'll see there are a few bits that I've just peeled off, which is fine as well. I mean, in the month of Ramadan, no one's got time to wait for that pastry to thaw, so you make it work.
Okay. Where have you added?
Oh, over there, you can do those too.
Okay, cool.
I must also add that this is actually one of our favorites, and it's one of the quickest meals we make in our household. You can do your butter layer again.
I should start that side actually, hey?
Shukri is also a bit of a perfectionist, so there's a right way of doing everything, whereas I just go with it. Shukri's like, no babe, you need to do it like this, you need to do it like that. I said, just say Bismillah, it will work. Okay, so we've prepared our little baskets over here. We've got the 5 sheets of phyllo pastry with a layer of butter in between each sheet, and Shukri is going to give you a little tip on how to get these perfect.
Okay, so what you want to find is maybe a mini small glass or even a tablespoon, something round. Then what you want to do is just press it down and then ream the edges so that when it's done baking, you'll have a nice open filling space for your little fillings.
Because remember, if the filling goes in there and there's a little holder, you need to have lots of space so you can fill it really nicely. You want it to be full and crunchy and sweet and all that bits and pieces together, but you need the space to do that.
Okay, and once we are done, we're going to pop this into a preheated oven at 180 degrees, that's
yes,
right?
180.
180 at 8 minutes. So here we go.
Okay, so while Shukri does that, I'm going to show you how we're going to prepare our filling for the sweet little basket. Okay, so for that, you're going to need 1 teaspoon of fine cinnamon. You're going to need about 3 or 4 stick cinnamon. 2 teaspoons of honey, and you're also going to need 2 apples and 1 pear, finely chopped over here, so not finely, just chopped. And you're also going to need some walnuts and icing sugar, strawberries, and your cream. So what you'll do is you will be steaming your apple and pear. So you'll add that to your pot with your stick cinnamon, your fine cinnamon, and your honey. And it will actually turn out like this. So you'll see that we have
sweet.
It's got that sweet texture. Your apple and your pear is not too soft where it's like, you know, perfect for the baby. We don't want any mush. We want it to have some crunch, bit of sweetness and texture to it as well. So now that we've prepared that already, we're just going to put this on the side and we'll show you exactly how you need to fill your little baskets so you have your sweet treat ready for the buka table.
So for the savory filling, what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be braising the onions, adding my chicken, my oil, barbecue spice, 2 tablespoons, 1 tablespoon garlic, and 2 tablespoons barbecue sauce, and then 1 teaspoon chili powder.
Crushed chilies.
Crushed chilies. Okay, so I've heated my saucepan on medium heat. I've added my 2 tablespoons of oil. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my onions. So this is about 1 chopped onion. Put that all in there. Spread it out so that it can heat evenly. And then as this is braising, what you want to also do is add your garlic, just so that it brings out that nice flavor. Let's get that out of the way. Just mix this in. Spread that all nice and evenly so that the flavors combine. Oh, that's smelling good. Let's wait for your onions to braise a bit. So once the onions are braised, what you're going to do is you're going to need to add your 2 fillets chopped chicken. To that you add your barbecue spice, 2 tablespoons barbecue sauce, 1 teaspoon chili powder just for that kick. And then once that gets going, you'll then add your chopped mushrooms. The texture of the mushroom is something special. You either like it or you don't, but we love mushrooms as of late. And then your dhania, just to add that extra flavor. Okay, so once that is nice and browned up, we add our chicken. And to that we add our 2 tablespoons barbecue sauce, 2 tablespoons barbecue spice, 1 teaspoon crushed chili. Just mix everything up. Okay, I've added my mushrooms and my dhania, so that's just cooked a bit. I think it's almost about done. Let's just give it a few more seconds just for the flavors to really come together. And we don't want this to dry up too much. We still want that sauciness along with the crunchy phyllo pastry. So I'm just going to turn my saucepan off. Just let that simmer a bit.
Okay, so what we're going to start with now is, after we've prepared our perfect little phyllo baskets, we are going to start filling them so they can be ready for us for buka time.
And as you can see, through the process of actually applying them against the tin, it's nice and open in the center, so perfect to add.
Which is all shukri. I had no part in that at all. I just want to get done. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to just take a teaspoon. You can see that I'm going to use our filling that's been prepared and cooled already. And what we're going to do is simply add that to the center. So we're just going to fill that beautifully. Also, they're very delicate to work with, so just be careful not to apply too much pressure when you pick them up. They're really delicate to work with, but they're so good.
Nice and crunchy.
And if you want, some people like it, we don't, but some people do. You can add pieces of your stick cinnamon that's still in my mix, you can see. You can add that, we'll add some extra crunch, but no, not for me. Okay, so now that we're done with the filling, all we're going to do is use our cream that I've already added to a piping bag, and we're simply going to top that with some cream. You can use any nozzle, any cream, it's entirely up to you. Once you've done that, you simply add your strawberries. We add a whole strawberry because we want all the fruit, all the goodness. So you add your whole strawberry. There we go. Once you've done that, you just crush some walnuts on there because maybe, you know, some people like the crunch on top as well. I just crush them by hand, but you can chop them up prior to this. You can add a whole one, it's entirely up to you, whatever works for you.
And it doesn't need to be walnuts, it can be almonds, some people like
whatever you have in the cupboard.
Almonds.
Shukri and I are all about making use of whatever we've got in the house. And then the last bit that you will do, I'll just put this on the plate quickly. The last bit is just to add some extra fabulousness, you can call it that. We're just going to dust it with some icing.
Sweet.
And there you go. And that's your sweet treat done.
Okay. So I'm going to be preparing the savoury, which I've just prepared now. What you want to do is get a mixture of the sauce and the filling itself. So take a teaspoon. Okay, put this down. Take a teaspoon. Add some filling, and then go at the bottom and just drizzle your sauce on. So what we want to do is we want to fill this nice to the brim. Because we're not adding fresh cream, the fresh cream actually gives it a bit of a height. So this is going to be giving the height itself. Sauce. Plate that. Let's do another one.
I'm salivating, oh my goodness.
The smells, the flavor, everything's coming out right now. Some sauce. And now the last one. And because we did that little trick, we're able to get
quite a bit of filling
in there.
Which is important. I mean, you don't want to serve it and then there's just a little bit of chicken in there or a little bit of apple. You want everyone to have a nice good bite of healthy food as well.
Some sauce. And then Fatima used the icing for the sweet treat. What I'm going to be doing is just separating the dhania onto there.
We love fresh dhania on anything.
Just bring that flavor out there. then some decoration. You want to be fancy.
People eat with their eyes. And there we go.
There we go. So bismillah, that's our plate. And for more treats, you can catch us on Instagram, and our handle is @KS_confectioners.
Or on Facebook @K's Confectioners.
And from the two of us at KS Confectioners, we wish you
Ramadan
a
Kareem.
Ramadan Kareem and a Eid Mubarak and Assalamu Alaikum.